Jesus himself warns, watch out that no one deceives you. Many will come in my name claiming I am the Christ and will deceive many. They'll perform great signs and miracles to deceive even the elect if that were possible. Now, of course, he was asked about what would be the signs of his return and the end of the age as we know it. That was the major one. That is the one that he majors on. Do not be deceived. Many ask, how do you fall into deception? But it will clearly enter if you don't know the scriptures and you don't know the one who inspired them. So if you rely on spoon feeding, or if you're even just being fed with milk and you don't have a personal relationship with God, you are going to be open to deception. There is no doubt about it. So the keys to avoiding deception, I think the most important is going to be how you read the Bible, your interpretation. There are the two main choices. You can either read it literally like Jesus and his disciples, their disciples and the early church fathers did, or there'll be allegory. You'll be spiritualizing what the words are saying. Now this means to make it say something different to that which was meant. And in fact, allegory is to set forth one thing in the image of another. Moving into the New Testament again, Paul writes to the Corinthians, and this is a very clear warning. He says, if he that comes preaches another Jesus whom we've not preached, or if you receive another spirit which you have not received, or another gospel which you have not accepted, you might well bear with him. And he writes to the Galatians and he says, I'm astonished that you're so quickly deserting the one who called you to live in the grace of Christ and are turning to a different gospel, which of course is really no gospel at all. And he says, evidently some people are throwing you into confusion and are trying to pervert the gospel of Christ. There are some of you who are being disturbed and want to distort the gospel of Christ. But even if we or an angel from heaven should preach to you a gospel contrary to that which we have preached to you, he is to be accursed. Paul repeats this. He says, as we have said before, so I say again now, if any man is preaching to you a gospel contrary to what you received, he is to be accursed. It's interesting when Paul writes to Timothy, he says, as I urged you when I went into Macedonia, stay there in Ephesus so that you may command certain people not to teach false doctrines any longer. So this is an ancient problem right back from the beginning. I think probably one of the most important warnings is when Paul is writing his second letter to the Thessalonians and he says, let no one deceive you by any means, because that day, the day he's writing about, will not come without. The Greek word is the apostasia, and it's often interpreted as a falling away, and it actually means a defection or a revolt. The root of the word is to depart, to leave the faith. So literally to depart from a previous standing. The point I'm making here, of course, is that the Bible is full of warnings of false teachers, false shepherds, another Jesus, another gospel, another spirit. And I think if we're looking at the signs of the times, we see that it is the hallmark, it is the main sign that the Lord Jesus Christ himself gave. Deception is to be avoided at all costs.